Hi, Dr. Curtis with All American Healthcare. Today we want to talk about some of the stretches that you can do to help with low back problems or low back pain. What happens a lot of times when patients have low back problems is they have an increase in that low back curve. The belly starts to round out and pooch forward a bit. What's actually happening here is people are losing the core strength. If you strengthen up the lower abdominals, that helps pull the pelvis back up underneath you. And what that does is that decreases that angle in the spine, which puts pressure on the disc, okay? So when people get in this position here, it puts more pressure on the back side of the disc and on those joints in the back of the spine, which are called facets. So this area gets weak, this area gets tight. So what I want to talk to you about is some of the stretches that we can do to help these areas. The first thing that we're going to start out with is a hamstring stretch. Now, the hamstrings run from the back of the knee all the way up into the hip itself. And because if the hamstrings get tight, they can actually torque the pelvis. So if we can stretch them out, it prevents some of this stuff from being tight. One of the best ways to do that is by simply just putting your foot up onto a bench like this. Now, the key is this. You want to keep everything square. So what I'll see patients do a lot of times is they'll turn their hips as they put the foot up. We want to keep the toes pointed straight ahead, okay? That keeps everything square. We put the toe up just like that. You like my socks? I got the All-American socks going on. And from here, we want to keep the spine straight. This is not a stretch to try and get the nose to the knee. It's just really about stretching the hamstring without influencing the spine itself. So as we bend forward, it's kind of just poking the chest and the belly out to the point where I really feel a good stretch on the back side of the hamstring. And that's about as far as I need to go. At this point, I feel a really good stretch here. I even feel it going into my calf. My toes pointed straight up, my back toes pointed straight ahead, and my hips are square. Now, as always, we're going to do these stretches twice on each side for 15 seconds. The next one that I want to show you is the quad stretch. The quads are the muscles in the front of the leg. Simple way to do that is by grabbing the foot. Now, if you have an ankle problem or a foot problem, you can grab above the ankle. But if your foot and ankle's okay, you can actually grab that foot itself. Now, when I see people doing this stretch, I'll see them do it in this fashion. And for me, I feel a little bit of a stretch in the quad. But when I take and I pull the knee backwards and I take the hip and push it forward, I feel a much better stretch into my quad. So again, we're going to hold this stretch for 15 seconds, twice on each side.